The Pinball Network is online. Launching.
Triple Drain Pinball Podcast.
Joel,
Yeah.
where's your state championship plaque?
I don't
Joel.
have it. I don't have one. I don't have
shame.
the state championship plaque, but you do.
Look, Josh even spelled it right this year.
Good for him. Jeez. Tom, you look great. Thanks. Good as always.
I don't have a state championship plaque, Joel.
Yeah, why is he not giving you a hard time? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Because Tom's a freaking beauty. Look at that goatee. Fantastic.
It's good. It's evil, Tom. I like it.
Why does everybody keep calling me evil? Because I have a goatee.
Hey, I called you an effing beauty, Tom. You're not evil at all.
If Joel shaves his beard, is he evil Joel?
Maybe if I shave it just to a goatee. I don't know.
We got to finish
should
this
grow the
intro. My
rest of it
arms
out?
are starting to hurt, Joel.
Oh, so he's going to hold this until we hit the button. Got it. Okay. Well, this is
Well,
episode
before
40.
his camera goes out.
Yeah, yeah. This is episode 48. 48. We're creeping up there to 50. And yeah, here we go.
We're three guys who like to talk pinball, so we came up with a clever name. We're Joel and Travis got who talk pinball, and we call ourselves Triple Drain, Triple Drain, Triple Drain. We're Triple Drain.
Triple Drain.
Travis, you're an idiot. The video during the song is the theme song video.
You know what? If I want to get hyped up for my own podcast, and the way that I want to get hyped up on a Friday morning before 10 a.m., you got to let me do that, Joel.
He held up his plaque the whole time and danced with it, and no one's going to see it.
It's
no
because I've been working out, Joel. Tom saw it. That's all that matters.
He's getting swole.
He's
getting swole.
Yep. 12-ounce curls. It's awesome.
All right. Well, here we are. We are recording on Friday the 2nd, the February 2nd. We
Ooh, Joel. I know I'm fired up right now. I don't mean to interrupt, but well, yeah, actually I do. So there's a have you guys ever heard about the Groundhog conspiracy?
Day?
No, the Groundhog conspiracy.
No.
That happened with, I guess, I can't remember if he was the governor at the time, de Blasio of New York. So this is a legit thing. He dropped a groundhog on Groundhog Day. It was like a whole thing. Like he was holding the groundhog, and then all of a sudden the thing like just went nuts, fell over. The groundhog fell, and then there was like this big cover up to where nobody wanted to know what happened to the groundhog.
Oh,
yeah. And then it turned out, unfortunately, the groundhog was permanently injured afterwards. Well, yeah, it's like a whole thing. So drop the groundhog. So seriously, this is like an internet meme. You've never heard of this?
No. So this is that a like a suggestion, like, hey, don't drop the groundhog, or is this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could apply it to pinball a little bit, but like 99% of the people won't care. But just every time Groundhog Day that you said that, it just clicked in my head. This is like a full conspiracy. You're going to go down a rabbit hole if you look this up. Just look up like dropping a groundhog, and it'll pop up.
Don't
it's
ever
amazing.
Squeeze a groundhog.
Hey,
really? That's pretty specific. Why would you not squeeze a groundhog?
I mean, don't squeeze most small animals or all the small animals. But what I will say, listeners, if you happen to be playing in a tournament with Travis and he really sucks on one ball, feel free to go up to him and just be like, hey, man, you really dropped the groundhog on that ball. Just throw that in there. Just throw that in there. No. It'll be perfect.
Joel, I just looked it up. This is on the New York Post. This is a headline. Bill de Blasio speaks out about dropping Staten Island groundhog on the 10th anniversary of the scandal. This is a real thing, and it's freaking hilarious. I mean, I feel bad for the groundhog, obviously, but all things considered, it's just freaking ludicrous. It is. I mean, it's like watching you play Jaws over and over again. It's man. Yeah, it's insane.
So what I've found that brings me true joy in life, true joy, is I understand I'm in a very an awesome situation where I work with Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out. They lend me games and I get to stream them. And
you're
just
a lucky bastard.
I know, I love it, and it's a ton of fun. But due to just proximity of Chicago, Zach usually gets games faster than Travis necessarily gets a game And because of that, I typically get a game roughly 24 hours before Travis has an opportunity to open it. And the timing all aligned that this Jaws behind me, which dropped off Wednesday afternoon, and I was able to stream it a few hours later. And you know what Travis had to do? He had to watch it. He had to watch it because he needed content to consume to understand the game. And he had to watch my stream.
For the listeners,
Here we go.
You just heard that. And this is why I'm so salty all the time, because I have to go through this. It's like an endless loop, a feedback loop that I have to do every single Stern release.
Yep.
Every single time.
What was the last? There was another game that you had to watch.
Venom.
Venom.
We just said it's a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Venom. And then guess what the one before that was? Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
You want to guess what the one was before that?
I don't know.
Rush. See,
Rush?
I remember all this. It's seared into my brain.
Yes.
Joel.
So,
Joel like gets these games so much, Tom, that he's like, yeah, I don't remember that one.
Well, hey,
because I have this
like-
one.
this is what I will show right
It's
here.
like a spoiled brat.
This is what I will show right here. So
Yeah, he's
Zach-
like one of those Instagram models that's like actually has the dad that's a multi-millionaire, but yet they're taking selfies everywhere. Like, look how well I'm
So
traveled.
this is what I've started to do, and I don't know if Zach knows that I do it, but I take one of the keychains. I
course
take
you do.
one
Why
of the
wouldn't
little
you?
keychains out of every game that I've streamed, and I've started a little collection. Just to, it's awesome.
Do you have those all together?
Yeah, I have them all together. See,
my
there's
God.
Labyrinth.
Now I'm salty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
He probably holds that up in front of the mirror. It puts the
No,
lotion on, and it does
it's
what
cool
it's told.
to be able to, like, I know there's a lot of
Right.
people in this hobby that just rotate games in and out, in and out, in and out. And I
Like
would
you?
suggest, well, no, like
Is that
people
what
that,
we're
I
getting
would
at?
suggest to start this because it's a cool, like, just grab one of the keychains and just
Okay.
kind of, it's a cool visual collection of like, I remember that game. That was a fun game. And then show your kids, show whoever, like, hey,
So-
of these games, which one did you enjoy the most? That kind
What
of thing.
Tom and I are getting out of this, and what hopefully the listeners are getting out of this, have a Zach Mini in your life, and you too can
Well-
have a hellacious keychain
You could have the
collection
coolest.
from all pinball machines.
Tom's keychain would be bigger than this for sure of games he currently owns. Yeah, Tom,
Oh,
Tom's
great.
got a
He's
big
whipping
old
out his
keychain.
precious. Here it
He's got a
comes.
big- What does he got here? Oh, there it is. What is tilt? That's your. Oh, he's plugging. He's plugging another distro. Wow, solid
Oh
job.
gosh!
Oh man. Okay.
All right. Well,
just have
apparently
my
all three of
keychain.
us.
I didn't
Yeah.
even put that on there.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't? No, that's
No.
good branding there. Like all three of us just.
Wait, that's
sponsored.
Turtles behind you.
Yeah, I
What?
actually bought that from
Oh.
Zach, but
Yeah.
actually I took it to MGC and
Nice.
I think Rachel put that on there, but
Oh, Rachel of Fox Cities that helps you out,
yes,
right? Okay,
Yes.
that Rachel
Yeah,
from
Rachel.
Wisconsin. Gotcha.
Correct.
So we are going to
Fox
talk
Cities
about.
Rachel.
Well, let's actually we'll finish with states. You held up your plaque. State tournaments happened. I forgot. Like, I
Excuse
wish I need to do. It's almost like I need to talk to my family to be like, I need to block out time on the weekend of states because there's so much good pinball to watch, and to be able to jump between the different streams and see who's all doing what. I will say, and I don't mean this to be rude, but I was watching Travis. I was watching Travis's stream because he won states, and I was like, dang, he's made it to the final four. And when I
Which is
turned it on, there was a moment where you and I don't remember the other guy's name. It was just two of you, and you were playing Toy Story. And at the time, the player camera was out. The score camera was glitching. It would pop in for about a half a second every 10 seconds. So I was watching high-level tournament streaming, and all I could see is a play field. And you try to get a glimpse of a score, and it's like, I didn't know who player 1 versus player 2 was. And the guy announcing, I bet he's a great guy, I bet he's super nice. Shout out to that guy. But he's like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know Toy Story at all. I don't know what we're doing. I think he's a good shot. That was basically the announcement that I heard. So the whole time I'm like, I am so clueless. And yet
Very
all I want to
solid.
know is if Travis is winning. You know, I'm like, he's like, oh, what's he trying to do? He's trying to lock a ball. Dude, it's multi-ball. Like he didn't know, but that's fine. Or he's like, I wonder what he's trying to do in this mode. Look at the iPad. Look at the screen. It tells you what to do in the mode. So what I will say is my takeaway, and I see Thomas raising his hand. Tournament streaming's hard. Is that what you're going to say, Tom? I mean, shout out to the people that do it well, like really well.
Yes, having a mobile rig is not easy.
Yeah. It's one of those, you don't know how good you have it till you don't have it. Because I was like, all I want to do, I just want to watch Travis win this game right now, and I literally can't watch it.
The takeaway is, do not have me on your stream. I am a human EMP. Do not do it. Because it's the quickest way for shit to go sideways.
This would be a great time for Travis's camera to go out.
Right.
That would.
I did every precaution. But yeah, State was rough this year. I ended up getting, and I was texting you guys during it. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of the event, it like food poisoning hit me hard.
Yeah.
Hard. Yeah. It was during like the beginning of the third round. I was in the middle of a creature from the Black Lagoon game, and it just like hit me out of nowhere. And I'm like, what is going on? My energy levels just went, and I was to the bathroom and outside to the side of the building for like the next 6 to 8 hours. It was rough.
So so just think your tournament streamer. If you're at a tournament, think the person streaming it. And if you're watching the stream, donate, sub, bits, all that thing. Anything to keep the high level, anything that we can do to keep tournament streaming at a high level, it benefits everybody. But Travis,
do you notice how I told Joel I feel sick. I felt bad.
I was coming back to you. I just wanted to finish the plug. He just
like big leagued it, and he's like,
I was coming back. I was coming right back
to your streamers.
I should. I mean, it's more important. We care more about the high level tournament streamers than we do.
We do. Well, yeah. But, I mean, to be fair, we do need Toms in the world because we would not have entertainment and we would not be able to watch this. So yes, I fully agree with that.
So back to Travis pooping his pants.
Why we gotta go there?
Yeah,
I just said I had food poisoning.
So I was watching the stream. And I didn't know this yet. And I see he's playing
a bathroom cam. Or?
No. He was playing Beatles. This was when all the cameras were working. He was playing Beatles. And then all of a sudden, he just like bent down, like he was playing. He held the ball up. Yeah, and he bent down, and I was like, "What strategy is this? Like, are you?"
It's called cramps.
Yeah. I didn't know what's going on. Yeah, so he finished his ball. He finished the game. I texted him. I was like, "Why'd you bend down in Beatles?" And you just responded back like food poisoning. I was like, oh no. So my joke was, shoot jackpot or poop pants. Those are two options. But I mean, that's even more props to you. The fact that you were able to pull out a state tournament win with food poisoning, literally fighting through all that. I mean, I saw Monica in the background. It was from the support, from your family.
Oh yeah, clearly.
And
well, what's fans, funny is, and I don't know how many people out there watch the stream, but if you watch the very end, we're on Fathom, and I was playing Austin Trent, who was the one that was in finals with me. And you could even see me in the background, just kind of hunched over a table, just kind of standing or sitting there, just trying to figure out life and contemplate it. Because it's like, I don't know if you two have had food poisoning before, but it is not fun. And so it's like, I spent the whole time just saying, don't be that guy that does this on stream on the pinball machine. Like,
don't puke on the machine.
Oh my God. I already got memed enough in 2023. Like, I cannot start out 2024 doing that.
That's fair. That would be a new thing for you. You would have really dropped the Groundhog if you puked on the game. I'll tell you what. Yeah, man. Well, congrats to your win.
Thank you. So now I get to go visit Tom and go to nationals up at D82.
Yeah, Travis is going to stay with me, Joel.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well,
maybe we'll send you pictures.
Maybe.
I don't want that picture. Just make sure you have a spare toothbrush, Tom, because he always forgets to pack it.
I have plenty.
That was just
you're dentist. You're
times.
Good. If anybody has extra dental cleaning apparatus in your house, it would be Tom Graf. Toothbrush for you. No, that's awesome. Well, cool. Congrats on that. the key, other things we want to talk about.
Tom, how did your state go?
Well, I know he didn't win. I just didn't want to, you were the one. Look at where's my plaque? Where's your plaque?
Hey, I just got to feed my ego. That's all, Joel. Don't worry about
my
it.
experiences.
I'm fine with that. I just didn't know if I was if I was bringing up a bad feeling or if it's a good feeling. Okay.
Wow.
I made it all the way to semis. I was for the field we had. I was very happy with that.
Okay. Tom, I love you to death. I cannot get over Joel saying, I don't know if I'm going to bring up a good feeling or a bad feeling.
I don't know.
Can you imagine him like having a discussion with his wife, like trying to figure shit out?
This is where they touched me, Joel.
No, I get it. I mean, you've joked around about there are certain tournaments that you just feel you're Neil's chaperone, essentially. You've said that before. And then there's other tournaments you dominate. And I just don't, I'm just trying to be considerate.
So Neil and our plan was to meet in the finals.
Okay.
It's a good plan.
And I had to get through my first match, another Tom Schmidt. And so I got through my first match. And then I had to face Cassidy, who we call the assassin.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was up 3-2 on Cassidy. And it was one of my picks, which was Pinball. Okay. I put up 5 million points on Pinball after 2 balls, and Cassidy had a bad first ball, and I was like, I got you, assassin. You're going down. This girl put up 8 million on 1 ball of Pinball. 8 million. And I was just like, my jaw just fell, like, the cartoons where, you see the jaw on the floor. And I was just like, shit.
I'm in danger.
That was that. Yeah.
Luckily, I made it past the 7th game.
Okay.
All right. Then I played Sheldon, who knocked out the number 1 seed, which was Luke Nahorniak. So, I mean, it was a tough tournament. And then I had to play Jason Werdrick in the semifinals. By that time I was like exhausted because I didn't have a bye. And I mean, Jason's a phenomenal player. I couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
So, but
and how did Neil do? Yeah.
So Neil won his first two matches, and then in the semis he faced Stephen Bowden, who won the tournament. So congratulations to Stephen Bowden. But Neil was actually up 2-0, and Stephen came back. So but it was there were a lot of good matches going on. And I'm sorry I didn't stream it, but logistically, me driving my stuff down to Madison, it would have been a headache for me.
So where was this at District 82 or where was this hosted?
No. So, I mean, if it was at District 82, I definitely would have streamed it. It was at Nerd Haven in Madison, and it was a good location. Games were set up a lot easier than would be at District 82, but that was fine. I mean, there's no issues with that. But I mean, it was a good location. If you're in Madison, you should definitely check out the location.
Yeah, and I know what's always interesting with state is the people competing in the state tournaments may not actually live in that state. It doesn't matter, right? The rules it's all about how many wins or how many tournaments you've played in that state. So like I know Madison or the Wisconsin tournament is close enough that you'll have people from Chicago or Illinois, or even I think like didn't Los from Ohio participate in it one year, or is like a thing where you get people, or Escher came from Colorado. I mean, people can come from wherever.
Carlos didn't, but Escher did last year and won. But it's one of those things. It's hard to explain to somebody not in competitive pinball why, like, well, you don't live in that state. why are you playing in that state? And it has to do with basically the points you accumulate by playing in tournaments in that state. And I mean, Jason and Steven, they came to a lot of tournaments at District 82. They had the right to play. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
See, all I hope is that Neil McRae wins state in some state in the U.S. at some point. That would be cool. That would be so great. Travis is officially done, though. He's officially done. No more. He will not. This is his last year being the Oklahoma state champion.
Travis said he will no longer play in Oklahoma. Okay.
Yep. I am doing the Tim Sexton. I am retiring from Oklahoma State.
How did that work out for Tim?
Yeah. All right. He made finals at Indus. So
that's awesome.
So, I'm either going to do Missouri or Illinois from now on, because it's basically like a 7.5 hour drive. And I'm not even going to be able to get down to Oklahoma very often enough to even qualify anymore, I don't think. So, yeah, it just kind of works itself out.
Well, Tom, you may not have won, but you didn't poop your pants or puke on a machine. So
that is true.
I didn't do that either, Joel. I went to the bathroom and I went on the outside of the building.
You pooped on the outside of the building?
No. Oh my God.
Wow.
All right.
Next segment.
Wow. Next segment. Time to chill. Time to chill. Check out these speakers. Check out those bad boys right there. This is Pinwoofer. Pinwoofer, we've talked about Pinwoofer before. Pinwoofer, Dan at Pinwoofer, they've always done speakers. That's been their thing. They've always done audio. But I know Dan has had enough issues, or he was having issues where his speakers weren't working with other speaker light kits that were out there. There's a bunch of different people that make them. Everything is speaker light kits too. I think like Comet made some. I know Ninja Mods or something.
Yeah,
there's a whole
Ninja
bunch.
Mods are the ones I have in my games, and they're really good.
And they're all great products. Like Speaker Light Kit, the what I have here in Godzilla is that I've tried a bunch of them. They're all awesome. But Dan decided he wanted to make his own kit that he knew would work with his speakers, and they're really cool. So this kit comes with it's actually like an injected molded kind of a foggy white ring, and then it's a PCB. It's a perfectly made PCB. So it's not 3D printed or anything. The install was painless. His own power supply, he got he didn't just buy an off-the-shelf power supply. He actually got a power supply made specifically for this. So the branding, everything's really impressive. And so that's what these are. But what's really neat is he teamed up with Measle Mods. Measle Mods have been doing undercab and backbox lighting for a long time, and that his kit works with their stuff. So here's I haven't put the bottom in, but it's aluminum track. These LED bars, and then basically he has these like daughter boards or these breakout boards where whatever the signal is that you're sending to the animation you're spinning to the speaker light kits, you can pull off of that information and then share it with the rest of it. So it may be somewhat hard to tell in the background, but there's actually kind of a wave animation that's going on the speakers themselves, and then that same wave is going on my back wall as well, which is really cool. So I did blue for Jaws just because it kind of makes like a kind of a watery back, and I haven't done the undercab yet, but I mean, what an incredibly easy install, and I don't know, it's really cool. I'm really, really pumped with those, and now I want to see if I can find a way to tap off the information from the speaker light kit, his flames, to see if I could get that on my back wall.
Do they help eat the ball?
They do not. My Jaws still does not eat the ball. I did I upgraded the speakers in there. I've added the light kit, but the ball still does not go in the mouth of the shark. So, maybe later. But just real quick shout out to that. I know you can see measlemods.com will have all the additional lighting rails. And then if you go to pinwoofer.com, you can look at their light stuff, but they're affordable. And this is just a dynamic thing. So it's like you set the animation pattern with your remote while I know you're making faces. You're not. But he also has stuff that works with, his stuff will work with expression light kits as well. So if you have a Foo Fighters, Led Zeppelin, or a Rush, then it would display all those animations. So kind of a new product. Definitely check it out. yeah, it's been cool working with Dan, and I was really impressed with that install. So there is your shill.
I was just enjoying, like, while you were talking, we got to see the back of your head.
Yeah, see, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Like look at that.
Yeah, I'm not even pointing. I'm just looking behind me.
All right, this podcast is just the best.
It's fantastic. I have such a great time with you, Tom.
Especially our audio listeners.
It is awesome.
Yeah. So
and Joel, you're fine.
Okay, so this is what I've added to make my jaws look cool. But let's actually talk about
your
jaws. Well, no, it's not my jaws. It's my. Thank you, Zach and Nicole, for letting me borrow it. I'm borrowing it. Yes. Jaws. Let's actually talk about Jaws. I don't remember. Did we
checkmate, Joel? Checkmate.
Yeah, I know you got
Tom.
me there.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah, but did you see my keychain? Did you see that? Isn't that cool? Did we record? Jaws wasn't officially announced last time we recorded, right? I mean, yeah, it was. So we've already done first impressions?
It was post in disc. Well, yeah, we just kind of generally talked about it, and then we talked about Looney Tunes, and then because remember the whole thing was about the Jaws eating the ball. Okay, yeah, you were going ham on it.
Oh, we did.
Tom and I had to be like, Joel,
no, that's
settle
right.
down, Joel.
Okay,
yeah,
we got feedback. So we had some people reach out, and they in both good and bad. People were like, thank you for taking a hard stance on this. It's ridiculous that people are reacting this way. Cool. Then we had some other feedback where people were like, we really enjoy your podcast. And one thing we like about your podcast is the positivity and the fact that you guys were so hard and negative on this topic. Like,
they don't want another about like what, ball eating? What were we negative?
We were negative.
What were you negative of? I was
fired up.
Tom was positive. What was Joel?
I was pretty fired up.
Yeah.
What we were fired up about was just the overall negativity to a response like that. The fact that there were people that were like, the heck with what Keith thinks or Harrison thinks, figure the mech out. You know, like, I don't know. It was just this almost like, why would they not try harder? Or what I loved
sounds like my old boss.
What I love was there were people online that were like, this wouldn't have happened if Gary Stern was there. Because Gary Stern would have come in and been like, no, that thing has to eat a ball. That's what they did in Jurassic Park. That's, but Gary's not there anymore. Seth probably walked in and was like, hey, take it out, save the money. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know.
Well, it's like anything else. People have all kinds of different opinions. They all valid, even if we don't agree with it. I think it's good that people can express their opinions. But yes, definitely, in this, I mean, you see it across any industry, though. Like, look what's happened to Suicide Squad right now. That's the newest video game that's out. It's just getting hammered by people just like dissing on it and everything. And it's like, we have an idea of what a game's going to be like. Just because, like, Tom and I, we've played enough. It's, you see layouts, you see something that's similar to what you've done before. You have a general idea of how it's going to be. But at the end of the day, you can't truly form your like hands-on impression until you're hands-on, and that's just the reality of it. And I think all three of us have played it by now, right?
Yes, but
Joel's still going. Okay, go ahead, Joel.
No, what I wanted to say was, I will say there were some people that were offended because what I want to make it very clear that our opinions, we don't feel that our opinion is any better than yours. Like, we're not, we all have very different experience. Even the three of us, very different experience. Tom has been in this game a long time. He's played a lot of pinball. He's owned and collected a lot of games. Travis now works in the industry. He sees the business side of this. He's seeing all of that. I'm trying to give him credit for.
I see every different style of player, ranging from people that have been in the industry for like 30 years, ranging from somebody that just discovered pinball last week.
Yes.
So see it all.
And that's why we're doing the podcast. We're sharing our thoughts on things, and if we can express our thoughts, why are we doing this?
True. But the one thing I wanted to point out was there was conversation of, you two are tournament players, and you guys look at a game in a different light than I think others do. Just because it's in a different light doesn't mean it's a better light.
We even established that.
Than your look. I just want to make that clear. Like, I don't want there to feel like we view ourselves better, worse.
I want to be clear.
Kind of thing.
Tom's opinion, of course, is better than everybody else's. I mean, that's just a fact of life. But, like, Joel, we talk about it all the time. Like, and that's one of the things I like about you, Joel, is that you realize your shit stinks. And we just talked about that just the other day. You know what I mean? It's like you hear us on this podcast and we're just giving each other crap and all that. But yeah, of course, there's so many egos in the industry. And there's so many egos everywhere in any point in life. You know what I mean? But it's important to be grounded, but you still got to have your opinions, you know, and you still got to have your beliefs. And that's perfectly fine.
I don't think I'm better than anybody else. And, you know, I don't want anybody to think I do. But personally, yeah, you can't always just throw off the handle because of somebody's opinion.
Well, you can't please everybody either. You give an opinion, guess what? Somebody agrees, somebody disagrees, and then somebody else is Monica. That's just how life is.
So I think the main thing was one thing that we were kind of harping on is just what we were seeing in the initial reveal were the shots. We weren't, you know, there was a lot of people that why is the shark not eat the ball, or why, like, lack of mechs or lack of this, lack of that. When we're like, can you just, what you were trying to point out was like, it's look at the shots, and maybe it's harder for certain people to notice that right off the bat of what the shots do, or looking at the layout.
100%. It is harder for people to notice it. And that's not a bad thing. Not everybody out there is an elite player. Not everybody out there cares about combos or cares about how a shot is. Most people out there that are casuals, they don't care about that. They care about what a mech does. So yeah, everything we said is perfectly valid and it's true. I mean, if the only thing everybody cared about was mechs.
Can you explain the casual thing? Because I think some people are getting offended by that.
Yeah, maybe that's... we're not trying to say it in a negative... It's not supposed to have a negative connotation.
No, this is easy. This is easy. If you're a casual, you basically are not listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Like if you're taking in pinball content, you are not a casual. Because I'm sorry, a casual will just go, put in coins, play a couple of games, probably not even realize they have an extra ball, probably not even realize there's 3 balls, then they're done. If you consume content, you are as far from a casual as possible. Now, you might be on the level of Joel with your playing ability, and that's perfectly okay. That's not a big deal. Like, there's going to be people of all kinds of different mindsets, different skill sets. And that's what pinball should be. And that's where these games aim to please. They have to appeal to as many different skill sets as possible. And just because you look at a pin and you don't understand the shots, it's not like, that's not a big deal at all. Like it's something that you have to learn. It's like saying us, for instance, I enjoy playing chess, right? I play it every single day. I do puzzles. I do all that. Am I going to be the next Magnus Carlsen? No, not at all. Like I play literally on 1,000 ELO level and that's it. And I've been playing for years. So that's just how it is. And so other people are going to see different situations or different aspects of a rule set or a layout. They're going to see it in a different way. And sometimes it doesn't mean it's a better way. It could be a higher level way. And I want the designers to be able to do that. I want the people that do the software on this game to be able to do that. Because if they didn't, imagine how boring pinball would be across the board with every single. So that's just the reality of it.
And there's some local collectors. I've been to their house. This was before I really started streaming or anything, just trying to meet people in the area. And one guy in particular, I was at his house and he's got this beautiful collection. Like he had 10 games, beautiful, high-end, all really nice games. And I remember I stepped up to, it was one of the JJP games at the time. And I was like, okay, so what do you do in the game? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, he was honest. He's like, I don't know. I think it's a cool game. I was like, oh, do you know how to start multiple? He's like, I've done it before. I don't know what I did though. And this is a guy that's heavily invested in the hobby, all about it. I know he still is. He's active on Facebook still heavily, but he has no interest. Like he doesn't care to know about the rules of the game, how to play the game. He just doesn't care. I think to him, what he enjoys about pinball is the mechanical side of it, the visual side of it, just getting whatever experience he is getting out of the game. And that's fine. That's what I'm saying. I just don't want any of our listeners to think that the three of us are at a higher level of pinball consumption than I mean, we just do
Travis,
it in a very different way.
You and I, Joel, are fine.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're talking about consumption, my God, I got to do this like 50, 60 hours a week. So yeah, it's Well, so here's what it boils down to, though, Joel and Tom. Okay, the reality is, and it's like this for any industry, for any hobby, you're going to have people that are more involved than others. You're going to have people that have a much larger database to go off of. And this was said a lot to me back during the days of like baseball and all that, that there's a lot of people out there that have probably forgotten more than what we'll know. And I believe that for pinball, there's people in this pinball industry. I'm not one of them, but there's people in this pinball industry that have probably forgotten more pinball than what I will ever know. And that's a good thing, because those people are going to be the ones that are the leaders. Those are the people that kept producing games, kept designing games, can think on a higher level, can push, that barrier to get past it, to think of, for instance, like an XP system, or how can this particular mech work this way and the shot combo work this particular way. And that's what excites me about pinball in general, is you have people from different backgrounds that have different skill sets that design these games, that code these games. They're bringing people from all kinds of different ages. Now you got Elizabeth Gieske, who's a late 20s woman that's literally like super sharp, high-end IQ when it comes to pinball. And it's clear that she's going to be the lead on a game at some point. So to me, something like that's exciting. The fact that Bug took over Spooky, and they're getting out a good cadence of games. Who cares if one of us doesn't like the game or whatever? They're literally doing something consistent that a lot of people are responding positively to. Like, that's stuff like that is exciting, because that shows that pinball is going to be here for a long time. And pinball needs everybody. It needs the casuals. It needs the home collector. It needs the person that just cares about the mech and not a rule set. It needs the person that just collects an LE because the artwork looks fantastic and it just sits there and collects dust. Like, because at least they're buying it. At least it's in their game room. At least it's moving a company forward in a positive direction with cash flow, revenue. I mean, you could go on and on. There's so many different aspects to this industry than just simply just the world under glass. There's so many different other aspects to it.
So what I would say, there's a question here that I want to ask you guys, but just what I will say is, if you listened to our last episode and you were offended by it in any way, that was not our intention. We're not trying to talk down or feel like we're trying to talk down. That's not our goal.
I feel like you're wanting to apologize, Joel.
Well, I
feel like you're one step away from apologizing.
I am saying we shared an opinion, and our goal, though, with that opinion is not to offend others.
I will say I will personally stand by everything I said. And if somebody's offended by it, I'm sorry that happens, but
no, I'm not. What we shared,
Travis is definitely taking the Josh Sharp stance. Right?
Well, it's just one of those things. We all have our different opinions, right? And it's an opinion. It's not a fact.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he brought up the word casual. And that's the thing. Like, when we say the word casual, we're not trying to say it in a derogatory way. And if you're listening to the episode and thinking, well, I'm a casual, are they talking down to me? We're not. That's what I'm saying. I just want to make sure terminology.
This industry cannot survive without casuals. And I'm telling you, if you listen to a podcast consistently, you're not a pinball casual. You are fully invested in this industry, and you've gone down the rabbit hole to just pinball degeneracy. Like, you're here, and I totally botched that word, but you're here with us. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not that.
So here's the question. This was a post.
For Joel's a casual.
This was a post that was put on our TPN page on Pinside, and I just thought it was really well written and asked. And actually, Tony and Dennis at a Collective Gamers podcast actually mentioned this particular post and talked about it. So, to the Triple Drain crew, the love of early 90s physical mechs and moments may stem from the fact that the storytelling of the game came from sculpts and playfield components interacting with the ball. Instead, we now have the LCD screen, licensed content, and RGB lights and animations to do the work. Designers then didn't have the technology to incorporate leveling systems into the rules or to immerse players with audio and video content. As more intellectual property and world building gets put onto the screen, the less reliant designers need to be as more gets put on the screen, the less reliant designers need to be on toys and 3D sculpts to create the feel of the environment. They can focus more on ball paths and geometry of the playfields than creating a world under glass. Maybe this is why some people say shots are the new mechs. The flow and combos lead to more things happening on the display. Destructum Jackpot, Fu Combotron, etc. However, then you get people saying the game feels empty because it's missing the unique set dressings they remember from the early 90s games. Busy artwork and flat plastics won't cut it for them. This is why there's such a crazy demand for mod makers, Stumbler, Wolf Cuff, Swinks, Mesolore. People want their playfield to feel more lifelike and inspired. They want equal parts tactile and digital. Labyrinth hit the mark for a lot of people based on the theme and inclusive licensing, but it also captured attention for its use of additional LCD screen, pop-up characters, and use of physical sculpts to build the world. Given the choice, I think most would prefer their machines this way. Again, that's why the mod market is so hot. Still, technology is changing, and with its capacity, the capability of the pin, think Spike 3, so more effort or bomb will be put into the intangibles such as rules, carryover, displays, etc. It will certainly push the hobby forward, and that's a good thing, but it's clear that most still want to retain what was differentiated pinball from video games this whole time: mechanical components, visual feedback of cause and effect. I did this thing when that happened. There's kinetic satisfaction. Oh, I did this thing, and then that happened. There's kinetic satisfaction, and then there's causation satisfaction. Pinball machines need equal parts of both. Godzilla had the building, tail whip magnet, and the bridge. Jurassic Park had moving and eating T-Rex, Jeep, Raptor pin. They were hits for a reason, flow and fun as one. So I thought that was really well spoken. It was something I hadn't thought of. Was they are correct. The pins that people keep referencing back in the 90s, they couldn't communicate this crazy depth, complex story with a DMD. So they tried to make sure everything was communicated with inserts, or they were trying to show that with Mechs. And I think that's what some people are accusing us of, that now we're at a point where because you can do essentially anything we want with an LCD, it's almost like we're focusing all of our time or our money or our effort there, when some people are craving, I don't know, I mean, like I know Brian Eddy, he loves his inserts. He loves communicating with inserts. That's what he still falls back on, the 90s way of communicating or showing your progress through inserts. And like Stranger Things does that, shows everything, all the different modes. Venom does that. Mando does that. You know, if you want to know where you're at, how close are you to wizard mode, just with Mando, look down. You know, well, I've done 5 and I'm about to light that. I don't know. What are your thoughts with all that? With this idea of trying to find that balance of relying on relying on the play field to communicate depth of a game versus an LCD screen. I don't know.
Tom, do you want to answer that? Well, I mean, I've gone on record to say I think the LCD is overrated personally. I really do. I think you can get across what you need to get across with the DMD. Sure, the LCD provides some stuff, but if you're actually playing the game, until you trap up, you're not seeing much there. And it goes beyond, if you're trying to look at something real quick, it's because you're hitting a shot and you're looking up real quick before the ball gets back to you or something like that, if you need to see progress. But I mean, overall,
I think the LCD is awesome.
See, Tom loves
I
LCD.
like it way better than the DMD.
Let's tell him why he's wrong, Tom. Tell him.
Travis, you're wrong. And that's all I'm going to say.
You're wrong.
Well, no, I just think it enhances the depth of the game because you can give more information on that screen than you can with just a regular, ordinary DMD.
I agree to that, but what I would say back to that is how useful is that for somebody that's not getting the ball to stop consistently on their flippers?
That's their problem.
So Tom, then explain. So like Pulp Fiction Pulp Fiction has no screen, but yet there is a lot of depth there. And what I find comical is I've talked to a few people that feel like they almost beat Pulp Fiction, but that's because they're just looking, I think, at like characters. They don't realize how much more there is to the game because there's no screen to communicate it. But yet Travis is saying you don't need a screen. So how do you find that balance?
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. I mean, Pulp Fiction's just a different game. I mean, it's got the alphanumerics, and those alphanumerics are helping you to understand what's going on in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there is depth to Pulp Fiction, but it's not quite as, it doesn't have the depth of, say, Godzilla.
Sure.
And plus you can time out all the modes, right? I mean, Jeff Teola said that in Final Round. So that whole game needs to be reworked.
Yep. Scrap it. Start it over.
I'm going with Jeff on that one.
I just don't know what value outside of the ball stopping, right? And then you're able to look up and take a breather. I don't know what value just having video clips does. Like for me personally, I get more excited seeing like a jackpot animation if it's combined with what's going on in the playfield. Like somehow somebody can integrate the light show and the sound along with the video. Than I do seeing a movie asset or a show asset or something like that.
There's definitely got to be a combination of stuff, but I'll take Iron Maiden for example. I mean, the LCD with the whole power features, trying to get to Cyborg. I mean, you need to know where you're at as far as your progress towards that to get to Cyborg. So you have to eventually look up and say, I need this many shots to get to this.
Well, maybe
how do you do that on Metallica?
The inserts.
Well, that, and if you're trapped up,
the button,
you can just go to info anyways. You're controlling. So basically, we're just looking at it. It comes down to a flow too, because you can get the same information.
To presentation too,
right?
It's the presentation,
right? And the presentation's there in order to get the information at a more efficient manner. Is really what it becomes. And then, in order to give the information in an efficient manner, you also have to window dress it, which comes with the animations, with the UI, with everything. And so my whole thing is I don't know, like from a design standpoint, that would almost seem like a nightmare trying to work around your code, work around your design, knowing that you have to have certain stops in the game for that,
Well, we've talked about this before, and I mean, of the three games behind me, Jaws, Godzilla, and Cactus Canyon, the display I like the most is Cactus Canyon, and part of that is just the art. I love the art style of the DMD, but I look at Cactus Canyon. There isn't anything in the game that the playfield doesn't communicate to me. I mean, maybe it's like how many more beer Stein shots do I need to get to that, or where am I at with combos? And I assume there's an instant info. I don't know. I don't know if there's an easy way to achieve that. But what's interesting is talking to Josh about the Lyman code that they're working on for this. He said one of the biggest challenges they have is there's inserts on the playfield. Like he wishes they could add inserts, or there were some inserts he wished he could have used for something else. Like, I don't want it to say that. I wish it would have so there's limiting. He was basically saying the power of an insert of what it could add.
That's because they're updating a rule set to a game that's older.
Yeah, that's a little bit different what Tom and I are talking about, Joel.
But I'm saying if an insert would have been blank and he could have put an RGB light behind it, then he can communicate more with that insert than just that. And and I understand.
Have a kit and add lights.
Yeah,
put a board in the back.
Yeah, and I think too the LCD screens overall in Pinball are done very well. It's not that they're done bad. They convey what you needed to convey. I mean, there's some things that get confusing for people, but just my whole thing is that unless you're very well aware of where you're at in the game, you have to know where to look on the LCD screen if you're doing it like while the ball's in motion. And then you have to know exactly what that means pertaining to what's going on actively. Well, so I know people that aren't deep in rule sets, that may not click as quickly. So I mean, that's the only thing that I have with it. Like, I wonder how useful it is in situations like that you're not just standing off to the side and looking. Like if I watch Tom play, then it's cool seeing the LCD screen because I get to actually look at it all and view it all and experience it all. And I'm going to see things that he's not going to see because he's focused on the ball in motion. Yeah. So that's what I wondered. That I just wonder what would Pinball be like if somebody out there took a chance and ignored the LCD, stuck to a DMD, or did something similar to what you have behind you, Joel, with the Cactus Canyon look. And they were really able to focus more on what's going on underneath the glass in that form. Like maybe that might help
What if there was a mini LCD right in the middle of the apron?
What if there was a full like monitor type thing, like multimorphic that goes across the whole playfield?
I think when I had Bond 60th here, what I did enjoy, that monitor in the middle of the playfield, there wasn't much on it. There's no video clips. There was nothing like that. It was literally like a blue screen with impact font. It was very basic, but it was also super helpful because you're in the middle of a mode and it's like 3 more shots for this. It communicated so clearly and you don't have to look up. So I see value there. And there are times, even, streaming Jaws the other night, where it's like, I do finally have a chance to trap up and I'm trying to look up, be like, where, do I have a mode progression? Anything showing that? No. Do I have the bounties? Bounties normally show what I have left in the upper left, but no, it's displaying an animation. So I know there's complexity there, but my question, I know Travis, you want to say something. My question is, I think people assume that we are taking money in the bomb. We are taking money and putting it towards display aspects when people would rather them take that money and put it towards another mech. So Foo Fighters behind you. Would you prefer it to have 5 less songs, but there be another mech in the game? Like, I don't know if that's even a realistic thing. I don't know if that's how the money works, or if people think, well, this many hours of coding is this price in the bomb. Well, maybe if we do a little less, then we could put another mech in the game. Like, I have no idea how that works, but I think there are people in this hobby that genuinely think that's how it works. That Stern is paying more money for Jaws 3 and 4 when they could have taken that money and put another sculptor mech in the game.
I'm trying to think of like a game with like just a crap load of toys in it.
Well, Labyrinth was the example. Labyrinth has a lot of sculpts. I mean, there's the fiery heads,
sculpts,
but the sculpts
do they interact with the ball?
They don't. No. That's the experience, though, right? Like, that's the idea. Well, that's what I think.
I mean, that stuff's cool, and I mean, it is cool for Labyrinth. But I'm talking more of like interacting, like on the play field.
Well, I will say, I think Godzilla Premium has set the bar so high because you have the moving building. You have the rotating Mechagodzilla mech. You have a Mechagodzilla with a magnet in his belly. You have a moving bridge. And you have the magnet grab. Like, those are 4 very utilized and innovative mechs that are all in the game.
But I'll even argue, like, okay, I own an LE, but I could own a Pro, right?
Godzilla?
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's no magnet belly. There's no belly,
But is
you just get a little horseshoe.
But is that really needed? Like, do you really need that feature in the game? Do you really need a bridge that like opens and closes? Is that like the number one thing on that game?
I think here is where it's an interesting crossroads to where you get different preferences, to where you're either going to get people that prefer the shots and the nonstop, like just all gas, no brakes, or the people that want to see mechs do something. I think that's just the difference that we're seeing.
I've had
and
both.
I like both. I like both.
Yeah. I do like both.
Yeah.
I've had the Pro and the Premium here in my house, and I will tell you, the Premium has gotten way more plays by people outside of myself, and it's because of the mechs. It's because of the interactive toys. To them, when my wife or daughter plays, all they care about is they just want to bang that building until they see it go down. That's all they want to do. And you don't get that experience in the Pro. You don't get it. But I had a blast on the Pro. But that's because we are trying to play the games and attack it from a code standpoint and a depth and a moment standpoint. And I agree that it's a lot easier for a casual player, not derogatory, not in a derogatory way. It's way easier for a casual player to try to experience a physical mech on a game than to try to experience a code-based moment in a game. So we're going to talk about Jaws. And maybe this is the transition.
Well, that was it. Before you go, that was the interesting thing about Jaws when you were pointing it out.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the complaints about the LCD screen that people had about Jaws? Like, what's the one scene that everybody was like, oh, this just keeps showing up over and over and over again? It was like the chum thing or whatever.
Oh, the chum bucket. Yeah.
Right. To where they just showed them. But we've all played it, right?
Mm-hmm.
like, how often do you even remember seeing that scene? Like, hardly at all.
I saw it.
You know what I mean? You
do
see it, but I mean, are you playing it? And you're like,
am I
holy,
focused on it? No.
right?
That
Are you
game
like,
is so
holy
fast.
shit, this is happening right now? We're seeing it again. Like, yeah. It's just,
in going into Jaws, I really like how they use the LCD though. I mean, there's a lot of information there. Like even the skill shot, there's levels to the skill shot.
yeah.
I love how they have the text up there.
Yeah. Communicating what to do. Yes.
Yeah, because typically on games, I don't know what the super skill shots are until they're discovered, or certain things you have to hit for a skill shot. Unless it's just like a top lane or something like that, but the normal stuff. But I like how they have the text there to show you, hey, this is what you want to hit. You want to hit the pop bumper. Now you want to hit the targets.
Yeah.
Now you want to go through this lane, whatever it is. I like that. I like that feature. And that's why I think the LCD is good. It's good for casuals.
It's good. It is.
But counterpoint, but you are correct. I will give you that. You are right. The thing that I like about Jaws, I've really paid attention to this, and I noticed it while playing and just trying to figure out my way around the game, that the playfield actually does a really good job at letting you know what each shot is and what it means. If you really pay attention to the inserts and you pay attention to the text, it all really flows together very well. I mean, you can look at the billboards, you can look at the inserts, and you can look at the roll card with it. It all meshes.
Nope.
Right. But it all meshes well together. Like,
what does the machete do, Travis?
Playfield X, baby. But the only thing that I could see people getting hung up with that do not understand what's happening is maybe the fish finder, because it accesses or activates on the right hand side, but it does have an insert there that if I look at it, I think it literally says activate fish finder.
Yeah.
And so then you
under the pop bumper.
Yep. And then you shoot it straight across against the target. So that's the only thing that I could see people maybe kind of get confused about. I know I was watching Monica play it, and that was something that didn't stand out to her, but she knew immediately, okay, I got to hit the captive ball, the light the encounters. Then she saw everything light up. She's like, oh, I got to hit whatever insert, because it has the name of the mode on there. So, or the encounter. So it's like stuff like that. You see people that may not think of rules too much, but they're able to kind of process what to do on the spin. I think that'll happen, but make sure the game does play fast though. And it is a little bit on the hard side. So make sure you do know what to do, like in terms of looking at this playfield before you even start playing. That would be my recommendation.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk. So this game showed up, brought it down, unpacked it. My initial impressions of seeing the game in person. First off, the art is fantastic. The blue, I'm really enjoying the blue. There's not a ton of blue in Pinball, and at least on the Pro, the art on the side, my kids thought it was awesome.
Avatar.
It is a beautiful art package. It is a cool looking pin. I really enjoy that. The back glass, and maybe I'm just like, you look at my back. This is the Cactus Canyon. This is the Brian Allen. I love it. It's very complex. I love that art style. Even Zombietti's known for complex art style. It is very simple, and I know it's iconic. I don't know. I think the back glass, people are going to love it or hate it. That's really what it comes down to.
The back glass is awesome. There's nothing about Jaws that is busy.
It's true.
I mean, it's a cerebral like movie, right?
Yep.
You've got something that's lurking, like, and that poster, that is an iconic poster.
I just think it stands out in a way. Like, I think that back glass would, in a collection of 20 pins, I think it would stand out because of how simple it is. Literally just the shark, the word Jaws, and the swimmer. That's it. That's all it is. But it's iconic.
It tells you everything you need to know about the theme. And that's what's important. If you can do something in the most simplistic way and get across what the theme is, that's why that movie poster exists in the way that it does. I mean, and anybody that looks at that, here's the thing, you could take the Jaws name away, right? Pretend that text isn't even there. And you see that photo.
Yeah, you know.
A lot of people will know exactly what it is.
So here you go. Here's apparently we only shill, right? We only shill in this program, right?
Hell yeah.
That's all we do. Especially Stearns, because Travis, you sell them and we shill. Oh yeah, and all the money we make from the customer, from the manufacturers. So I'm going to say something negative. When I unboxed the game, my initial thought when I looked at the game is I thought it looked flat. And what I mean by that is it's just some of these games, you get ramps all over top of each other, mechs all over, interacting, weaving in and out. It's almost like there's a depth, like a height thing where you feel like that, the world under glass. You feel like it's just so much crap is between the playfield and the glass. I opened this up and it's a Pro. So I was like, man, this Pro just seems almost stripped, or it was just flat. Like it just didn't seem like there was a ton in the game until I played it. And that's when I realized what is so unique about this layout is there's 3 ramps, but you really don't see the ramps. You don't have that visual, stainless steel ramp that's right there in your face. The right shot, the ramp is behind the back panel. Like it's just like the left ramp on Godzilla. You don't see it at all. You barely see it. Right in the middle is a 180 ramp that's super short and tight. You don't see it. And then on the wave ramp, it's another 180 ramp but where it's kind of hidden, you don't see it. So you see so much playfield. And that's where you realize this is the ocean. Water's flat. You're not playing a mountain. You're playing in the ocean. You're playing in the water. But yet, because you can see the ball, you can track it so well. And you just see this, I don't know, like it almost accentuates how impressive the actual ball path layout is. And so my initial impression, the last 2 games I had before this were Elton John, which is just jam-packed, light, visual overload. It's awesome. It's an incredible game. And then I had Elvira, Red Kiss, like House of Horse. It was another thing. It had the Rad Cows. It had the art blades. It had everything in there, like another visual thing. You open this, no art blades. You're back to a Pro. It was kind of like I kind of got spoiled with those last 2 games of all the stuff that was in this game. But then you start playing it and you're like, holy cow. This game is something else. And that I was so, maybe it was a unboxing it and being like, kind of initial view. But then once my brother, same thing, once we started playing, we were hooked. If you want to say that's a pun, go for it. But this game is brutal and it's fast and it fights back. But man, it has this one more game draw that I haven't felt in a while. I just wanted to keep playing it. So that's my initial take on it. Tom, you've played it. You've put a few games on it. You're playing it on location, so you don't get to hear it. 3 games, so you don't get to hear it like we do.
Right.
But your initial, same thing. You've seen the unveil. You're in on an LE. You plunged the ball. What was your main takeaways?
Pretty much exactly what you said, Joel. Just it's really fast. The shots are all there. It shoots great, but it's gonna kick your teeth in a little bit. I mean, it's a tougher game, but fun as hell. I mean, just I love that shark target that pops up, and then
fin. Yep.
Yeah, the fin and the fin, and I saw somebody miss it, and then it like literally just like back to the other side and came back up. I thought that was really cool. I'm excited to get the LE and try that out, but I definitely want to go back and play some more.
Okay. Travis, you were flaunting it on Facebook that you've played it. You've played 1 game, and sure, your score was higher than mine, but your 1 game, same thing. I mean, what's your initial? You stepped up to it. How'd it feel?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, there is a lot of blue, and it's hilarious that you mentioned that, Joel, because somebody was texting me the other day, and they said, you know what? I don't like this game. I'm like, why do you not like it? And they're like, it's too much blue. And I was like, but it's an ocean theme.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So that was funny there. And I know he's listening. So yeah, you gave me a good chuckle there. But no. So what I can say about this game, and I played it more than once. That was just the only game I put up on IC, my very first game. So I had to show off for you, Joel. I did have extra balls on though. So it was not a 3-ball game. But I will say that this game, like the best compliment I can give it is it makes me feel like I'm playing pinball. You know what I mean? Like
no, I don't.
meaning like I'm going to put in my quarters or I'm going to hit start, and I'm lucky if I'm in control.
Oh,
and I'm playing by the seat of my pants. Things are happening, but yet it's not so many things at one time that it's confusing. It's like, you know what's going on. You know generally what you need to execute, but you're always at risk. So you have risk reward going on the entire time. To me, that feels like pinball. You know, while I may find games that I have a repeatable shot, right? That's safe that you do that. This game does not have that at all. I could not find the repeatable shot that was just completely safe. And one of the coolest sequences in it is when you hit that quick shot, right? And it comes up and you know it's coming back down the left side. Yep. You know the fin's coming up and you know you got to basically hit it on a one time or hope for a ski jump. But my God, like my accuracy was just dog shit on it, but I was having a grand old time trying to do that.
Let's talk about that left side. I'm honestly, when I saw the pictures on the Pro, it's a straight path down the left side of the thing. And part of me was like, I wonder why Keith couldn't think of anything else to do with that. Like, it's just a straight path. Like, dude, it just seemed like a kind of a throwaway kind of shot, and it may be Joel, one of my favorite shots in the game.
I'm telling you, Joel, it's currently one of my top 5 shots in any pinball game I've ever played. I was blown away at how fun just that shot is.
It's hilarious. That's why it shows me that it's like, I know nothing. Like, because looking at the pictures, looking at the reveal stream, looking at all that, I was like, that shot looks lame. I just thought it looked lame. It was such a tight U-turn, so it's a left orbit. You want your orbit to be a fun shot. Not your orbit. It's where the left orbit is, but you want your spinner shot. Thing
about this game. It doesn't even have true orbits. Yeah.
You want your spinner shot though to be like the satisfying shot, because you just want to hear that. And first you can hit it from the little mini side flipper. No idea, like physically, I don't understand how that shot works, because it seems like it's a straight right to left, and then all of a sudden the ball's going whoop right up the play field, does a hard U-turn and right back down. But the speed of that shot, because it's a straight path on the play field, the speed at which that ball is coming down to your left flipper is faster than any wire form or ramp you're going to hit. And it's because the wire form or ramp will always drop the ball at the end. So that's going to take away from the speed, pause it for a tiny little bit, and then just feed the flipper. This is just straight barreling down at your flipper. And Keith uses that in the code. Like you were saying, the quick shot. There's a whole thing where the fin will pop up. That ball's coming so fast, you're not going to stop it on the left. You can't do like a, I don't know, not post bat, but like where you hit it.
Post trap? Yeah.
Post trap. You're not going to do
a post trap with it.
No. You might be able to do what he was saying, ski jump, hold with the left flipper, go to the right flipper. But what he's insinuating, what he wants you to do is hit stuff on the right. So if it's on the right flipper, you're not going to hit what you need to hit. So he's really forcing you to use that left flipper to hit the pop-up fin in a quick shot.
This game forces
such a
you
cool
to use,
moment.
Yeah, it forces you to use the entire play field. But yeah, that particular shot right there, because it's almost like, it's so awesome because you get ready, right? You hold up your flipper, that mini flipper, as soon as it comes down, that unique area. So you might start a sequence to where you're on the left flipper, you go around the reel, and then you catch it with your mini flipper. And so you activate the quick shot, you hit it across. If you make that shot, it is super satisfying on its own, but it's almost like Billy Mays. Wait, there's more.
It's coming.
And that's where the true fun all of a sudden comes, because just like you said, you're gaining all that momentum, all that speed coming down to your left side or your left flipper again, to where you got to one time it off a shark fin target that's not in the same spot every single time. Like that was the only time that I can remember to where I'm missing a shot and I'm missing it consistently, and I'm laughing, having a good time doing it. I'm not cussing at it. I'm not like, oh my God, this shot isn't doing what it's supposed to do. It's like that right there. That's what I'm saying. It made me feel like I was playing pinball. Like I was a little kid again, finding a solid state somewhere. Yeah. Joel probably thought it was like Star Wars Episode 1 all over again. He was probably so excited.
Yeah. Shout out to Keith, because I messaged him in our group and I said, Keith, this game's incredible. And his response was like, does it compete with Star Wars Episode 1? I was like, I am stuck forever sharing my opinion on that.
That one shot, though, I don't know how often you got to experience it, Tom, but I will tell anybody out there, if you're playing this game or you haven't played it yet, like that shot is just fantastic. Yeah. It's so satisfying when you actually do complete it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can,
I only hit it once or twice, but when I did, it was like, ooh.
Yep. It feels good.
Like, yeah.
And the mini flipper is such a unique thing. Like that being able to, what I realized is the mini flipper being able to stop the ball, essentially lock the ball. That's the only controllable break that you get in the game. The only controllable way for you to breathe, because the speed you hit the center ramp and the speed that ball comes back, you're not going to be able to post trap the ball. You can't stop the ball. You can't, even the waveform feeds the mini flipper. You can stop the ball there, but every other shot, it's just the return back to your flipper is at such a speed that it's just so hard to slow the game down and feel like you're in control. So that little mini flipper is the only chance you have to be in control. But then what are your options there? You either flip that and the ball's going straight to the left, you're back out of control, or you let the ball dribble down to your right flipper and you kind of have another shot. You have another chance. And I'm loving that. I'm loving that so much. Those shots to the left between the drop targets or the stand-ups on a pro, try to squeeze it through that kind of harpoon shot, the quick shot or whatever, or somehow how it magically goes up through that left orbit shot. It did not take long. It didn't take me to play this game long to realize how brilliant the actual layout of the game is. And I had a lot of people on stream. They're like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts of Pro versus Premium? I can tell you right now, I'm having a blast on the Pro. Now, if I do the friends and family test, if my wife came down here and she's like, okay, what do I need to do in Jaws? Is there something physically like a mech, something that I can point out of like, you want to experience this? Not really. Like the chum bucket's kind of cool. The fin is probably the closest thing. There's a little bit that you have to do before that pops up for the first time. You have to create that shot.
Yeah, that's the tough part. You have to create that.
You have to get that all set up to experience that. So probably not something she's going to experience. That's where I see the value in the premium, because if she was standing in front of the premium, I would be like, hit the ship. And then all of a sudden that shark pops up. She can bash the shark or try to get it on the upper play field. See if you can spin the wheel up there. You know, there's more stuff that I could point to for somebody like herself to experience, you know, a physical satisfaction of the game. But man, if you are ready to just dive in and, you know, hit the chum bucket, try to get your multi-ball set up. Like Jared and I, we went into our stream with very little knowledge of the game, and we had so much fun discovering that game and seeing how much you can do in that game right at the beginning and kind of what path do you want to go, and the satisfaction we were getting from the shots. Like, I am so excited to continue to stream this game and play the heck out of this game. But
it's going to be a unique game, because I know obviously one of the cons is going to be that it plays difficult. It plays hard. It's not, like, I'm telling you right now, it's not an easy player. For me, that's the exciting part. Like, I feel like I looked at Monica last night. I'm like, this is the first time I feel like a game is truly fighting back in a long time, and it feels like a challenge. But yet it still feels like things are accessible. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like some other games. Yeah, they play hard, and it doesn't necessarily feel like everything is accessible in this. For some reason, this game convinces you that you need to play on the fly and that you're going to hit the shots. Because it's like, if you don't hit the shot, you are getting punished.
Do you think the shots are more accessible in this or Jurassic Park?
I think the shots are more accessible in this one.
I
personally
agree.
I think it is personally. And I think they did something unique with the sound package too, because you hear the Jaws theme and everything. It's almost like it speeds you up in your play. I found myself doing that. I'm like, why am I playing so fast? And then I realized, wait, I'm hearing the music. I'm going. It's almost, it kind of reminded me of like how Gorgar is, you know, to where like the music just keeps going up, you're like, oh, I got to play fast too. So yeah, it's, and like I said, of course, obviously I work for a company that sells the games, but I will say legitimately, I am so excited about the premium coming out. Like the Pro is a lot of fun, but then I'm thinking to myself, wait, Bash Toy, upper playfield with all new shots included that has 3 pathways. Like I don't know. I'm going to have a hard time not getting a premium for myself. I'm going to have a very, very hard time because I told myself no more pinball games this year. And I'm like, ugh. Well, I'm already going to break it second month in.
You got Jurassic Park 30, if you got Godzilla, and you have Iron Maiden. It's clear you and Keith line up with what you enjoy. And I will say my question about which shot is or what game is more accessible. The reason I do feel like, I mean, you said this game feels like it's fighting back. So I do think it's a hard game, but it's not hard.
I think people will like that it's shorter game times.
Yes.
Nothing in the game feels like a slog at all. Like but it doesn't. It feels like you're constantly doing something and it's fun doing it.
And what I will say is, what I mean by hard is it's not hard because you can't hit the shots or you're bricking a lot or like, man, I'm trying to do this, but I just can't hit that shot. No, that's not it at all. It's you're hitting the shot, but the way the shot is feeding back to your flipper is not safe, or it's going to be it's going to force you to go on the fly and try to hit another shot and hit another shot. But when we were streaming, my brother, like, he had not touched the game, and he's worse of a player than me, and yet he was like competing. Like his scores, he beat me in a few games. His scores were up there. He was experiencing the game, and it's like, okay, he's finding the shots, but it's still such an intense experience. While like when we played Jurassic Park, I remember the first few times we streamed that, we were just getting our butts hit, like kicked in because our teeth kicked in, our butts kicked, all that stuff. Yeah, it's like we couldn't hit this shot. We couldn't hit the O shot. We couldn't hit this. Like, we know what we need to do. We just haven't found the shots yet. While this, it's like I feel like we started to find the shots quickly, kind of like most people experience in Godzilla. But yet I absolutely feel this game is not going to have anywhere near the ball times that a Godzilla has, because they're accessible shots, but they're not safe shots.
Joel, I'll tell you my ball times. Somebody asked me this morning, as a matter of fact. So my very first game I played, I had the extra balls on. It was like around 16, 18 minutes, right? As soon as I took the extra balls off, we're talking 8 to 10 minutes for a 3-ball game. And I had one game, which was like 6 minutes. And that's still around 100 million, 150 million.
Sure.
But yeah, it plays tough, but at the same time, it is accessible, like I said. And the big reason for that is the encounters. They're on every major shot. So you can, as soon as you light them, you can start it. It's just like Walking Dead in that way. So unlike Godzilla, where you have to hit the scoop, right? Some people couldn't find that.
Like the modes is what you're...
Right. And some people couldn't find the scoop on Godzilla. Then it's like, what do you do then? Or like Jurassic Park, some people couldn't find the control room shot. It's like, what do you do then? So
from a code standpoint, just for if anybody this weekend has a chance to go and play a Jaws, what do you want to do? The two main things are you hit the chum bucket, you hit it 1 or 2 times, all the lights show up red, and you hit enough red shots, you'll fill up the chum line, and then that'll allow you to then hit a yellow shot, which it'll be the middle ramp or the left orbit. You'll hit a yellow shot, and that's what's going to set you up for that chance to hit the fin, the pop-up fin.
Yep.
To attack. And once you do that, once you've attached a barrel, then you hit one more yellow shot and you're in multi-ball. That's your multi-ball opportunity. If you want to just get into a mode, all you have to do in this game to get into a mode, you hit the boat one time, it'll flash shark, and then you'll notice every other shot on the playfield has a white insert and it says the mode name. So you can be in a mode in, I think it's 2 shots. It's just hit the boat once and then hit another major shot and you're in that mode. So it's very accessible.
Is it that or completing the arrows?
What arrows?
I forget. The complete arrow, like it says complete arrows for shark encounters.
What he means by what that is, in the boat itself, there are 3 arrows behind it, and they're like opto. But realistically, if you hit that boat straight on, there's a good chance the ball's going to roll over and it's going to light. It'll light your mode.
And then don't forget too, I think the bounty hunts can be lit via the right ramp. So you hit the right ramp twice. Yeah. And that lights the bounty hunts. And if you've played something like Led Zeppelin, before that would kind of give you an idea. It's just basically 4 features that are out there, like ramps, pop bumpers, targets, spinners. Yeah. And then you qualify a shark, got to reel them in. Sometimes you can be like Joel, lose the shark.
Yeah.
It happens.
So that's a whole thing. The bounty hunts, that's what I'm really enjoying, where get into a bounty where it's exactly what he's saying. So it's like, okay, for me to catch this shark, I need to hit 3 ramps. I need to hit the chum bucket twice. I need to hit the pop bumper once. And I need to hit the boat, whatever. It's like, it'll tell you in the upper left, and you can just kind of chip away at it during the game. Once you've done that, then the reel, which is a horizontal spinner, it's a very fun shot. It's a cool 180 shot. You have to hit that and get a certain number of spins to reel in the shark. And then you hit the boat or the shark target and you caught the shark. And it is so enjoyable. That horizontal spinner and that 180, not the 180, the figure 8, I am blown away at how well that works, because it consistently feeds around a pop bumper and feeds your mini flipper. And what's odd though is if you hit the shot in a way that it feeds the opposite direction, then it's a dangerous shot, because that ball is coming either right at your flipper or close to straight down the middle. So you got to be ready. Like it's such a creative layout.
And you got to make sure to nudge the machine the correct way, so you don't force the ball to go down the middle. Yeah,
Carl D'Angelo shared a clip with me from my last stream where the ball was going to hit the left flipper, and I nudged it the wrong way, and it went straight down the middle.
Right down the middle. Tom, well, we got to ask Tom, Joel. So, Tom, you played this, 3 times?
Yeah, that's it.
On location. Did you get a feel for the shots, or like what you were doing in the game?
I found the outlanes quite a bit.
Did you use the right outlane, like to bump it back in?
So that was funny. I wanted to talk about that. So
yeah,
I was literally surprised because the ball was going down the right outlane, and I was like, oh man, I lost the ball. And then all of a sudden it bounced off the post back in. Yep. And it's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But no, I thought the shots were very findable. Strangely enough, the boat or the shark shot, that captive ball, I had the most trouble trying to hit that. And I don't know if it was just my aim or what, but I kept hitting the left post rubber.
So from the right flipper?
Yeah,
or
left
from
flipper.
The left flipper?
Left flipper.
From the left flipper?
Yeah.
Well, that's back to the unsafe thing. If you don't hit the captive ball, there's a lot of rubber post on both sides. And if you hit it, it's coming straight back at you.
Even if you hit the captive ball, it's still like I found that the chum bucket felt like the only safe shot. Yeah, really, you know.
And
besides
what I love,
the ramps and stuff, but
the rescue multi-ball. So every time you hit a stand up next to one of the main shots, it will add a beachgoer on a shot. And it's you have to do that. You have to add the beachgoer and collect the beachgoer. So what I've found really fun is my skill level, I mean, I'm hitting posts all the time. So the fact now that I have a little target there, that it's like, you don't want to hit it because it's not safe, but the fact that you do have to hit them though, to add your beachgoers. So I'll look down and it's like, man, I got so many beachgoers out there. Once I actually start hitting my shots, then like I have playing the game. I did it once on stream. I got to rescue multi-ball, and I did it once the other night, which is it's a cumulative thing. It's something that you are going to progress over time. And then, hey, I'm only a few shots away from rescue multi-ball. When you start that multi-ball, you can close the beach, and then it kills your flippers, and it starts you in this multi-ball mode. And it's a unique thing. And it's, the code's only at 0.83. And that's what I've told some people on stream and some other people that have reached out. The things that aren't going to change, the art, I'm really enjoying the art. I think the art on the play field, it's not busy. It really lets you see the ball and show, like it looks great. The art's not changing, and the shots aren't changing. The shots are awesome. I'm loving the way this game shoots. The code that's already there, the 0.83, I'm having a blast with it already. And the fact that this is where I think Keith has proven himself that he's going to flesh out a game in such a unique way and make it a fun experience. Look at Jurassic Park, look at Iron Maiden, look at Godzilla. This game's only going to get better. So if you have one on order, I think you made a good choice. If you have an LE locked in like Tom, good on you. My view is buy with confidence. This game is a blast. This game is a blast, and I'm really excited to see how it continues to grow. So I don't know, it's awesome. Go find one. Hopefully your local arcade has one at this point. Otherwise, we'll share Tom's address once he gets his LE.
No.
No. No. We won't do that at all.
I don't know. Any other thoughts on Jaws?
I mean, I'll admit, like, I've seen the movies and all that. I was not sure how this would translate for pinball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was worried about how it would translate, but I mean, it works. It shockingly works, and I don't know how they did it. Whoever did the artwork, was it Michael Bernard?
Yep.
That did it. I mean, I personally think it's fantastic because if you really look at it and you see what the art is, along with the inserts, along with labeling the shots, along with working its way all the way to the backside with the buildings on the back and everything, like it all comes together nicely. And I like that it's not super busy. And that's not to say that other people like Brian Allen or Zombie Yeti, that I don't like their artwork. It's just something like this. I think it's the perfect art package for what this theme is.
Yeah.
Things don't need to be busy. It's a shark, it's an ocean, and I'm sure something like this wasn't necessarily the easiest thing for people in pinball to do, because pinball is typically chaos. But what's beautiful about this theme is it's a simple premise that is chaotic and is terrifying. Being in the water with something that could just eat you alive is probably absolutely terrifying. So having a game like this, like, it's just curious to see how this would translate out. And I don't know, having a horror theme like this translate in this way, that it still has even the good campiness in it that comes in. Like when the guy is talking about the tiger shot and he's like, "Oh, what?" Like that's one of my favorite quotes in it. Yeah, there's just, I mean, the game's just excellent. I'm very shocked at how excellent everything seems like it's coming together. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I'm just very surprised by it because I was not sure, based on the theme alone, how it would be.
So few quick thoughts. One, this is considered a horror movie. I was worried bringing this in. I was like, I got little kids. Is this a game? Like, unfortunately, Elvira, that was a game that I wasn't allowed to play around my kids. And it's not because of her. It was like what I found my 3-year-old, he didn't like the floating heads. He thought the floating heads were scary. And there were a few clips that were scary. So it's like, okay.
It wasn't the satanic movie scenes.
It's like, I need to, so I get, that made sense. But I was worried. I was like, I don't want my kids.
Other assets?
Yeah, I know.
The back glass? No? Okay.
A 3-year-old boy, he didn't care about that. He wasn't noted. But
gotcha.
It's but the thing about Jaws, I was really worried. I was like, I don't want my kids to all of a sudden be scared of water, and they've included, it's very tactfully done. That's what I'm saying. Like, clearly this is a game that's going to be at a bar, and it's not, let's say it's a family friendly restaurant, little Timmy's not going to look up and see, a half-eaten body on the screen. Like, it's tactfully done, and it's campy and it's enjoyable. Nice. Yeah, you got to get to that point. The other thing, audio. I was like, cool. They got the score, but I'm like, I don't want to hear da-dum for the 2 hours that I stream the game. No, the audio package in this is incredibly well done. All the modes have different songs, and they're all intense. They really, like, I was super impressed with the audio. I really had a lot of fun, and whoever, I don't know who's on, I'm assuming Jerry Thompson, is that his name? I think.
I'm not sure.
I'm assuming he's on it.
I'm not sure who did sound.
I don't know. Well, we know one person that did sound, but like very little bit of the sound. So, but yeah, it's I don't know if they've announced that. Anyways,
let's look.
I think it's Jerry Thompson.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah,
but it's really good. The sound is good. The art is good. All that is good. So I don't know, man. It's really a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm hoping, more people play it. Video wise, that was the thing. The clarification. Some people were upset about the art. The fact there's only 2 people in the middle. This was clarified on Loser Kid Pinball Podcast that the third guy, the police officer, use Brody to use an art asset, you have to work with the estate on that.
Right.
That's a totally different thing. And apparently the estate never even responded to him. So they couldn't use his likeness in the art, but they can use whatever they want from the movie. That's a separate licensing thing. The other clarification I think is really important. Once again, it was on Loser Kid Pinball Podcast. Elwin basically said, for all those people out there that are saying, why doesn't the shark eat the ball? He basically said, imagine the speed of the Godzilla building. The licensor required that the shark comes out of the playfield. That was a licensor requirement. They wanted the shark to surprise the player. They wanted the shark to come out of the playfield. So the shark had to start below the playfield. But the only way that they could make that mech reliable and make it be a scoop was basically imagine the speed of the Godzilla building. So
Exactly.
there's the shark mouth. You hit it. And so please, thank you for not doing that. So they're just like, imagine the shark on top of the Godzilla building. That's what the mech would have been. So those are my clarifications.
Well, while playing it, I don't know if you two got the same feeling. I thought about that while playing it, and I was just like, I don't know how this would have worked.
No,
personally.
the speed.
I'm just like, that would just be, because there was nothing about Jaws in the movie that was slow once he attacked. Like, he'd
pop up, and there'd be times he'd pop up, and people, by the time they'd turn around, it was back underwater. Like,
right.
It makes sense to be a fast, quick bash toy. After you play the game, for all the haters out there that still think we're crazy, once you've played the game, you will understand the last thing that you want in that game is a mech that slows it down, because everything else about this game and the layout is,
it would be out of
speed and
place,
flow.
I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tom Graf? You think it'd feel out of place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom's all in on an LE. I'm so freaking jealous of him right now. Like, because that premium, I'm telling you guys, I think the way that this plays, it would not surprise me if it earns really well on location. But I don't know. I got the feeling the premium's just going to be just a whole other animal. Like, I don't know.
You got to go premium or LE. I don't know if there's any LEs out there, but I will say the art package, after seeing this art package, it has sold me that the LE art package is definitely better than the premium art package.
Oh,
that's no offense to Michael.
I would want the pro back glass for sure.
But
like the iconic.
That could be a mirrored back glass if it was the LE.
I know. If only there were LEs. If only we knew somebody getting an LE.
Well, that's all I got. That was our pre-show notes. We're like, we can talk about state.
I think we crushed it.
We could talk about Jaws.
We did well, right?
I remembered to actually, that's the only problem. We record like once a month. And so we love the feedback. Please feel free to continue to message us on Facebook or email us at tripledrain@gmail.com. But sometimes we get all that feedback a few days after the episode's released. And then it's been 3 weeks since I read it all. So I should probably do better and like catch up on that again.
We did get a good email though that I would like to do next time where we'll talk about our. Well,
Glenn,
we could address
Glenn message us. It's a good question. It's
an excellent question. Yeah. I think we should do that next podcast for sure.
We had 3 items. We had 3 items, and what I found is we only did 2. And then we had another random side item.
We had to talk about stuff, but
it's all good.
No, the main thing we got to talk about before we leave is the Winter 3X. Tom Graf. What is going on with that?
There's a tournament at District 82 called the Winter 3X. It's a Stern Pro Circuit event. Basically, it's like a mini Pinburg. So you play 3 games, basically 5 rounds in one day, play 3 games, and you get put into divisions, go into the next one the next day and play in your division, same thing. You play 5 rounds, 3 games, and then I believe it's top 20. No, might be top 32 make the playoffs. I have to look into that, but and then playoffs on Sunday. There's a couple other tournaments going on in the evening, some knockouts, but it should be a good time. We're going to stream it. I'm looking forward to it.
On what channel are you going to stream it on?
It'll be on the Fox Cities Pinball channel, but I was going to plug
Tom,
that.
If you want to stand up a little bit, just stand up a little bit.
I don't feel like it.
And Superman that sweatshirt. He's got a beautiful Fox City shirt on. That's what I'm saying. Merch. Right. Where's your merch at? Is it Silver Ball Swag?
He's wearing it on his head.
Silver Ball Swag.
Yeah, you can get that Triple Drain hat. You've got some cool merch on there too, Travis. You got the
Triple Drain hoodie on? Joel, where's your Triple Drain stuff?
I had some good comeback. I'm keeping I'm restraining my.
That's what I thought. All right. Well, let's do our plugs. Let's wrap this up.
All right. Well, as I just said, I'm in. I do Fox Cities Pinball. It's on Twitch when we're live. YouTube when it's not live.
Yeah. Awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, Tom.
I'll try.
Yeah. Travis, plug away, man.
You ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Knew it was coming. There we go. Yeah, you guys can find me here on the Triple Drain Pinball podcast with my excellent co-host, Tom Graf, and Joel. He's here too. He's fine. Here. He's a good guy. He has a beautiful beard. Joel, I got to say that your beard is pretty excellent.
Thank you.
I'm going to grow one eventually.
One day.
When I'm 60. But
one day. Your son will grow a good one.
Yeah, my son's pretty awesome at growing it. He's only 14. What can you do? But so, yep, you guys can find me here or find me on YouTube at the Pinball Company. I do stuff on there. All right, your turn, Joel.
Okay, and yes, I'm Joel. I do this podcast. I also do the Flipping Out stream every Wednesday night. That's on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And then, yeah, shout out to Pinwoofer for hooking me up with these. I'm enjoying those lights a lot. And then if you happen to buy the Galactic Tank Force lunchbox from American Pinball and you want to complete your lunchbox collection, check us out on Zazzle. Search Triple Drain on Zazzle, and you can get your Triple Drain lunchbox. It'll look real good right next to it. Otherwise, our stuff on Silver Ball swag, which is always a good time. But yeah, that's all I got. Like always, Tom, you get the last words.
Have a good day.